From 1930 through 2017, dividends accounted for over 42% of total returns of the S&P 500, and that is exactly why it's really important for investors to understand exactly what a dividend is, how dividends fit into an investment portfolio, and how you can start taking advantage of them today. Now, that's exactly what we're going to be covering in today's video, so stay tuned through the end. Welcome, Wealthy. It's Josh here, and on our quest to building financial fitness, I wanted to take a deeper look into one of my favorite topics when it comes to investing, and that topic is going to be dividends. So what exactly is a dividend? In its simplest form, a dividend is a payment made by a company to the shareholders of that company. So for example, when you buy a stock of a company, let's just go with AT&T for example, you're actually becoming a partial owner, and that makes you a shareholder. Now, when you buy a stock, you're actually joining a club of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and sometimes even millions of different investors who are also shareholders of that company. Actually, most of the outstanding shares of a company like AT&T are actually held by institutional investors. Now, institutional investors are like Vanguard or mutual funds or big banks or hedge funds who have millions of shares of AT&T or larger companies just like them. Now, when I'm talking about individual investors, I'm talking about investors like you and me who are personally buying shares of AT&T or shares of these stocks and putting them into their own dividend investing portfolios or investing portfolios. About 1% of all of AT&T stocks are invested with individual shareholders just like you and me. That may seem small, but there's over 7 billion outstanding shares of AT&T, which means that 1% of that is approximately 70 million shares owned by individual investors just like you and me. Now, all of this is to say that when you buy a stock of a large company, you become a very, very small fractional owner of that company. And when that company decides to pay out dividends, it's paying out an equal amount of dividend to each stock. Now, when a company gets very large and they have stopped growing at the rate that they once were, and they're very mature, but they still are producing a very, very high amount of profits, they have a few options that they can do with that profit at the end of the year. They can choose to reinvest it back into the business in a project that will have a positive ROI in the business, right? They can keep growing, reinvesting back into the business. But as I mentioned, a lot of these companies stopped growing as fast as they once were. And that is because, once you become a industry leader and the company is mature, you become in that mature life cycle stage as a company. And it's harder to find projects to keep reinvesting in and keep growing the company at a profitable rate. And this is where dividends come into the picture, because as a company is very large and has all those profits, they can choose to pay out a dividend to their shareholders. And this is something that a lot of companies start to do as they become larger and they get, into this mature life cycle phase of their business. Now, if a company chooses to pay out a dividend, it's usually because they are in very, very good standing financially, in financial abundance, and they can afford to pay those dividends out for every single stock that is out there. They can pay a dividend and still have profits left over and be financially stable. So how can you start benefiting from dividends today? It's actually really easy. You just got to find a company that pays out dividends, purchase a few shares of their stock, hold on to that, and as you hold it and they continue to pay out dividends, you're going to be set. They're going to keep paying you dividends, and those are going to start coming into your investment account. So what I consider to be the most fun part about dividend investing is actually doing the research and picking the stocks that are going to be going into my dividend portfolio. That is because once you buy the stock, you really don't have to do much after that. Seriously, you just purchase the stock and voila, you're going to be receiving the dividends every time that they pay out a dividend, right? If you own 10 shares of a company that's paying out those dividends, you're going to be getting that dividend over and over again. As long as they're consistently paying out that dividend and don't cut it, you have nothing to worry about. It's going to be, all gravy for you. It really is that easy. So when it comes to dividend investing, how can you start to benefit from them today? Well, if you already have an investment portfolio, you can simply start by just picking a few stocks that have a dividend payout and add them to your dividend investment. So if you already have an investment account, it's as simple as adding some of these high yielding dividend stocks to that investment account. Now, if you don't currently have an investment portfolio, you can use the link down in the description below, and that's actually going to be an affiliate link that gets you $30 for free automatically in your account once you put $100 in. That's basically a 30% ROI on your initial investment without even having to invest in stocks. So take advantage of that if you have not already. Open an account and follow along my investment journey, because I'm going to be investing into a lot of safe dividend investment stocks. I'm going to be walking you through everything that you need to know when it comes to dividend investing and what to look out for and what I look out for when investing in these stocks. And if you want to learn more about M1 Finance, you can check out this video right here. I did an entire review and took you behind the scenes into my account. So I actually do a ton of research when it comes to dividend investing stocks and trying to find the best ones to add to my dividend portfolio, the ones that are, undervalued and that will give me a lot of value for the amount of money that I'm putting in. I actually recently made an entire video on this of the top 5 stocks that I'm investing in May. Put that video right here. You can click on that, click on it right now if you want. Click right here to subscribe to the channel and make sure that you don't miss any future episodes. And all future episodes and current, previous episodes are going to be put in this playlist, all about the dividend investing portfolio. As always, continue to build your financial fitness. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.